I have this video that's kind of it's dividing the internet. This is something that's like I wanted to discuss because you know allegedly you're a woman, and there's kind of this thing on the right. I don't know if you've ever noticed it or if you've ever spoken about it, but I do believe this, that there are a lot of conservative women
Hmm.
who are like commentators, not you,
Okay.
um, but like people say this about like Megyn Kelly and stuff, who are like secret feminists. Like they'll espouse a lot of conservative value stuff, but then they'll also
Right.
say like weird feminist talking points. Have you ever seen that narrative going around at all, or no?
I have definitely seen some of it, and it does seem like some
They'll
of
call
these,
people like a
like,
closet feminist kind of thing, you know?
yeah, I have seen a little bit of that.
Yeah. So this video is, and I haven't watched it because I wanted to react in real time and have my real reaction. So this is Sarah Stock. She's somebody who follows me, um, and I don't really know her. I've never spoken to her. I guess I assume this is her in the video. It's hard to tell profile picture, but I
Or
think it
wait,
is.
no, I think that's not her. She's
Oh no,
talking
this is
against
Emily.
her. Yeah,
Yeah, this is
so
Emily
she's
Saves USA.
disagreeing with her. Yeah,
So what she's saying
it's
is not
two
to.
blonde chicks.
Yeah, two. This is again like women fighting in the conservative space. Not a good look either. But again, men do too all the time.
It's true.
Um, I don't know. I'm not gonna. Should I read her take before we watch the video? Or should we watch the video and then read her take?
I think watch the video first.
Okay. All right.
Hate to call out my own party, but the young girls on the right promoting this like trad wife bullshit. I just want to make sourdough for my husband. That's great. I'm all for it. I promote traditional values. I understand. I have been working since I was very young. I don't really plan on stopping working. I suggest you find a hobby that makes you money. But you guys, guess what? Guess what, baby girl? That lifestyle working out, a man, a provider, you just get to sit at home, bake bread every day, slim to none. I would say none that's going to work out for you, or quite literally anyone you know. You're actually setting yourself up for failure, because it could not be easier, if that's what you're going to pursue, to be trapped by a man. Okay? Also, let's bring some other things to the table besides sourdough. Guys want to be mentally stimulated.
Now I'm cool with just regular bedroom activities and sourdough. I think that's
Right.
about. I'm good with that.
As well as physical, okay? But I'm just like, please, you guys are too young to be promoting this. And also, by the way, it's cringe.
Okay. So people are calling her a closet feminist. I want to read Sarah's take here.
Okay.
Not to pick on Emily Saves America, because I've seen a lot of girls on the right counter signaling the trad stay-at-home mom lifestyle. But I also think this message is ridiculous. Being a stay-at-home mom is not being trapped by a man. That's feminist BS. It's also not impossible. I have multiple friends in their early 20s currently who are stay-at-home moms. Also, my mom was, and the same with most people I grew up around. You also don't need to have a career to mentally stimulate a man. I'm sure none of them care about that. Baking bread for your family is not cringe. It's actually more important than any little 9-to-5 email job you would have been doing otherwise. I could go on, but the main point here is I'm very tired of our big conservative voices constantly echoing these feminist sentiments with no pushback.
Here's the thing for me is this sounds a lot like the and what I think is cringe is this whole narrative of, oh, walk into a marriage and prepare for it to fail type situation. And you see this also with the guys who are saying, don't get married, guys, because if you get married and then you get divorced and then you get screwed over, well, it's the same thing. And she's parroting that same narrative. Well, marriage is a beautiful thing that God created for a man and a woman
Right.
to glorify Him. And so it's like, if you just oh no, I mean, marriage, that's the ultimate covenant that you make with somebody. So yeah, when you truly love somebody, then there is going to be some risk associated with everything. So it's just like, yeah, in a situation of a woman marrying a man, and let's say she does do the whole housewife thing, doesn't build anything for herself, there is going to be some level of risk of, okay, What if she gets divorced and then she can't take
Not
care
in
of
my
herself later
state.
because she didn't build up? I mean, you can get some money out of a divorce, but let's say,
Yeah.
you know, super long term down the road, it's like she didn't build a work experience or skills to really help set her up, so on and so forth. But ultimately, I just think this is a cringe mindset to have. I think that it's perfectly fine. I'm not
Her
gonna-
take or the reply?
the
video.
the video is cringe.
Yeah.
That is a cringe mindset to have of, oh, you're trapped. Like, first of all, why are you, a man is trapping you by supporting you and taking care of you? It's like, what the heck? That's a great scenario that a lot of women want, and a lot of women are going to feel more comfortable and in their feminine energy in that kind of scenario. I'm obviously not opposed to women working if they want to work. I'm not exactly baking sourdough bread for a man right now, so I'm not going to be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I think that that's a great thing. My mom was a housewife and is a housewife still, and I think it's a great arrangement.
Yeah, I'll say she's literally has the title of the video is "You Can Do Both," which is literally you can be a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. Like, you can. I don't have anything against this woman, but she is speaking out of both sides of her mouth, saying that like,
Ew.
you need a career because you don't need no man. Well, you're literally, like you said, you're saying, so the woman should have a backup plan in case the marriage fails. And, by the way, let's just say even just a non-working wife, like, I don't want my wife to work or my wives to work. I don't want her to have to, but it's also about life choices. Are you going to buy the $1.2 million McMansion, or are you going to live in a perfectly nice,
Exactly.
1,500 square foot house that has everything you need? Like, the difference in those mortgages alone would let your wife probably not have to work.
Exactly.
It's about the choices we make in life. And by the way, I also don't think, like you said, if a woman wants to work, cool. If they don't want to work, well, we have, I'm also fine with that as long as it's financially, viable.
I also don't like how people will hop on TikTok in this case that this woman just did and try to speak for everybody. Men like to be mentally stimulated by a woman who works and this and that. It's like, why are you speaking for men?
I don't. I never cared less in my life about
Exactly.
anything that my wife had to say about her job.
First of all, she's wrong. And secondly, you can't just make blanket statements like that. Okay, there might be some men who would prefer to have a wife that works than doesn't. I have seen that. Usually those are more liberal men, but still not. There might be some conservative men who prefer that. But to say that, oh, men prefer this, men are excuse me, men are different. They're going to have different opinions. And I feel the same way when people try to speak on women, like whenever that the one image was circulating about, oh, this man, women like the man when he's a little, has a higher body fat percentage, and they want to speak for all women. It's like, wait a minute, stop saying women like this, women like that.
I thought both pictures were fine.
Looked fine too, like honestly. But to say, oh no, this is what women prefer, and this is why, it's like, why are you saying this like every woman is a monolith, that every woman is going to have the same preference or opinion on something?
Yeah.
For some reason, that's just kind of a thing right now for people to hop online and talk about all men like this or all women like this, when it's like, no, it depends on what works for the people involved in this.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy's next venture is selling coffee. If coffee doesn't work, a sourdough brand sourdough. Yes, for my harem of wives, we will all make. We'll have a. we will have a Hambly harem mother dough that creates all of our sourdough, available on Amazon. But I think the oh yeah, see, Maggie has sourdough. Maggie's got a sourdough starter going. Where's my sourdough? I saw you brought in Chick-fil-A yesterday. You didn't bring me Chick-fil-A either.
Aww.
You're out of the harem. That is a big cheese curd. Yeah. she also doesn't. I've never seen her wear hair in a bun, so she does follow my
Okay,
cardinal
that's
like
good.
number one rule. Yeah,
That's good.
I think it's also a reality that in many cases both people in the relationship have to work. Like
Right,
when
that
you
is
get older, like it would not have been possible for me to be married to somebody when I was 23 and live in a house if we weren't both working.
right.
Now that I'm 40, you know, yeah, it's
Mhm.
different. But like, I think it is a very liberal women empowerment position to be like, you can have a job and like, I'm telling this woman right now, no man ever in history wants to hear his wife talk about her job. So the fact that she's like, you could have a job so you can mentally stimulate your man. He doesn't care, I assure, unless you work at the strip club.
Unless there's a
he don't care.
man who doesn't want to work and wants to be supported by his
Yeah,
wife, then he
sure.
can talk about her job.
Then he has to listen. Then he better shut up and act interested. That's true. Like if you're a man and you want your woman to be the breadwinner, then you shut up and you listen to her stupid stories about her stupid job that doesn't matter.
Also,
like,
that's not a good. It's not a good arrangement. I just
no.
don't think there's a single instance of a woman being the breadwinner that is
Oprah?
that's healthy.
Oprah and what's her
She will
husband's
view
name? She
that
never
man-
married him.
She will
never
view
married
that
him.
man as less than her. That's just
Yeah.
reality. She will view that
Stedman.
man as some sort of soy boy.
It's why they
That's-
never had kids. I don't think they ever had kids, did they?
Right? I don't think so.
I know they never got married.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I think this is coded feminism. I'm not gonna like attack this chick, but like, you know, I think there are a lot of like, I'm a trad chick influencers that aren't really trad. Because if
Right.
you were trad, you would understand that like, no, if you believe in traditional gender roles, then you're not calling it cringe if a woman wants to stay at home and make
Exactly.
sourdough for her man. Like that's, I mean, I get, maybe she was talking about like, oh, Razorfist is trending. We're gonna have to look at that.
Yes.
Maybe she's talking about the fake trad influencers on places like TikTok, and they are cringe. The ones that they like put on the prairie dress. You can very clearly tell they're living in like a
milkmaid dresses with the push-up bras.
Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Their titties are all out. They're
Yeah.
like, which is not trad
I
at
know.
all. They wear like the milker dresses, put their milkers on display, and they're like, I'm making sourdough for my man. And then the camera's like angled up here down their shirt. It's like, that is the majority. Like, to be honest, a trad wife is not making TikToks either.
It's true. It's true.
Like, maybe they are about their hobbies or stuff, but they're not putting their boobs out there, and they're
or
not
maybe
like,
they are to try to reach other women and talk
Maybe.
about like, oh,
Yeah.
here's like a community where we talk about what we're doing with our families, like
homestead
housewife
stuff. Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
But the ones that are popular, first of all, fellas, they're all married. They're all dating somebody. They're not single. And they'll pretend like, ooh, I'm working on this new, and then they'll like have mysterious cuts in their video where they'll cut to their bread that they bought at the local bakery. You know, like it's always it's all a grift. So if she was talking about them, sure. But there are lots of women out there that don't view being a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home wife as like a negative thing. That's crazy.
Right.
And yeah, there are some, we're going to see this happen, Melonie, in the next like 2 years. There are a lot of female conservative creators and male conservative creators that have got on the MAGA train. So like once Trump is out of office and their entire identity of like being a Trump sycophant is no
That's
longer
true.
profitable,
That's true.
we're going to see a lot of people's true colors.
Yep.
Like, do I need to remind people about Ashley St. Clair?
Yep.
You know, I mean,
Exactly.
you know, so there's a lot of I mean, like these Gunther Eaglemans and all these DC Dranos whose entire like existence is, you know, riding Trump's coattails. We'll see how they are about their Trump, you know, ideology when the next guy's president.